One of the new tools in EnRoute 6 is the ability to slice mesh objects into individual layers that can then be cut out individually. So I have a mesh selected here, so I get into the tool and you see that it draws the layers for me as a preview for what it might do. On the left hand side of the tool you can choose which axis you would like to be as the slicing axis, and so you see the different slices here. Typically my guess is that people will use the z-axis and slice it this way. So let's take a look at it here. The thickness is kind of the key dimension, so you know the thickness of the material that you're going to be cutting. So let's say I change that to 0.75 for 3/4 inch material, and so the tool will automatically calculate the number of slices that will fit. You can also define slices by changing them manually if you have fewer slices or you don't necessarily want to slice the entire mesh object. And then it will max out with the max that will fit. You can also create an offset either by dragging or by defining. So I can move my slices up and then the tool will decide kind of what fits, and then I can also click and drag and the tool will decide how many objects will fit. I can go all the way down to 0. I can't go below 0. And then I have a couple of options here. The layout is the actual layout of the slices. I can add labels to the slices to number them so that I can keep track of them easier. And when you get a model that's more intricate than this simple cone, that becomes a big thing. And then I can also ask the tool to create a 3D model of the slices purely as a way to visualize what's going on. And so when I have it the way I like it, I click apply. There you see the model that gets created. And then if I go back up to the top view, you can see the layout of the slices. In this case, I've got all of these slices. I have a really small slice I may or may not actually want to cut, and that's just something I can decide when it comes time to cut things out. But these are the slices that when cut out then will stack up to create this model. One of the things that you learn if you work with the model stacker is that creating a bunch of stacks and then getting them stacked up in the right order and the right alignment can be a challenge. So it's possible to create alignment holes so that you can have an alignment pin or more that help you line these up. So what I did here is I created just a mesh cylinder using the cylinder tool, the cylinder primitive tool, and I made them 1/2 inch in diameter and the right length for this model that I created. This is a Coke bottle model that I created. And so what I can do now is I can take these two models and I'm going to move them over into my mesh object. And this is a pretty big mesh object. Would work well to create a nice big tall stacked model. Once I have that aligned the way I want it, I can just select that model and create the layers. I'm going to turn off the model creation just because I don't need it here. So if let's say I was using 1 inch thick slices and I was going to make 59 of those, I certainly want to label them, and when I'm ready to go I click apply, and the thing that you'll see is that holes get created in each slice that I can then use when I cut it out to cut those out as holes and then line the thing up with alignment pins. So alignment pins are easy to make simply by creating the object that you want to use as your alignment pins and including that in the selection when you create the slices. So this is the model stacker tool in EnRoute 6.